things I do to get good cuts and casing and close up those miters. So the first one is to get an accurate mark. And for that, I measure to the short point of my molding. Next, I use what literally may be the best miter saw I have ever laid my hands on. And I use its work light that shadows the blade, and I bring it right up to my pencil line, like this. And because the shadow line shows where the blade is, I really don't have to go too many extra steps to know I'm right on the moolah. I'll finish up those miters, and I'll take you to my pre-nailing assembly station. The next thing I do is I get my narrow crown stapler of belovedness. I love using this thing. Throw her on the hose there. Get on a nice surface. I realize in all my glory here propped up on the floor that this lacks a little glamour. And if I had a whole house to do, I'd set up a work table. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doors. So it's not worth it, and there's no room. Anyway, to freeze these corners, I take my narrow crowner and wha-bang on, wha-bang on. I've tried it with brads and they just don't hold tight enough. These narrow crown staples, though, are fantastic. Then, side 2, that corner's held together tight. Now I'll carry it as a unit over to where I install it with ye old brad nailer. Oh, come with me! Then, pick the entire assembly up gingerly, because it's frozen, but not by much, you know what I mean? And I take it over to...
Where am I doing this? Wrong door!
Take it, put it on location.
Wrong door!
Then, with the assembly assembled, I can put it in place. I can tell if I've made any mistakes, which is sometimes the case. Here, I'm good. That miter's going to stay tight. So in my brad nailer, 18 gauger, I have 1.5 brads. So I can come in and shoot into the back of the jam legs and head from here, flat spot on the molding, and I can freeze that corner. And I can freeze this corner with very low risk of the nail popping through. And I've got it on a flat surface on the profile, so sanding wood filler, which is something I also do, is easier. Then I'll spare you the nailing, and I will drive it into the frame for a nice solid connection. And that miter is tighter, baby! Something I do when I install baseboard trim is I like to nail it to the studs and the framing in the wall. Bottom plate is obviously easy. Locating the studs, however, can sometimes be a maze. In this case, I'll shove my tape in the corner and come out 16. Hopefully it's 16 center-ish framing, and I know it is because I already did it. But if it weren't, or if layout was coming from the other way, I'd fish around like this with my can't live without it, use it every day tool, my all full awesome all, and I would find the hole. Now where is it? That's nothing. That's it. I'm in a studso woodzo right there. So now, if the world works the way it's supposed to, I go 16 from here, and what I do instead of taking my pencil out and all this other stuff is I make a little mark. Then, if I find that stud, I'm off to the side. Oh yeah! Now I can take my tape and hook on there, and wherever I think it's appropriate, like the wall, because I'm covering that with the floor, I'll mark my 16 centers all the way down, and I'll have those when I bang the trim on here. Measure 16 centers. Clipboard's in the way. And another reason to have an ever awesome pull saw on the job site is this molding about a 1/2 inch proud, and it intersects with the casing, so it throws me off my reveal here. I would have a hard time, I think, personally, getting a smooth cut using a oscillating tool. So instead, I got a little Curvy McCurve started, and now I can just nibble my way through this medium density fiberboard base molding and be assured that I'm going to have a nice smooth intersection.